So the boat was called what when you bought it?
It was called Seawolf when we bought it.
So did you really have to get a virgin to pee on it to change the name?
We actually didn't.
Oh.
It's kind of hard to find a virgin in Key West.
Today is a super exciting day. I can't wait. We are going to finally take Atticus out sailing for the first time since we went to Ascension over 6 months ago. I mean, literally half a year and we haven't sailed this boat. And so we spent pretty much all day yesterday and just bits and pieces over the last couple weeks getting the boat ready to sail again. You know, it's just absolutely incredible how, like, if a boat's just your live aboard home, if you're not sailing it regularly, it stops being a sailboat. You start putting like wine bottles where you normally keep your tethers and your harnesses. You know, you start hanging up laundry on your sheets, on your main sheet. I mean, it's just like the boat, you know, is not in that condition where it's ready to sail at any time. So we've spent hours getting the boat totally ready to go, and she's pretty much there. But not only are we gonna go sailing, it just so happened that the first annual Isla Mujeres race is today. So we signed up for it. Not only do we get to do a sea trial today, but we get to, you know, do a little racing. We're gonna lose, but that's cool. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm super stoked, man. Let's do it. Let's go sailing. Woo!
Yeah, so my heart's like pounding a lot right now. I think I'm just like really nervous and excited. It's nice to have some newness again in our lives. Just kind of a change of schedule, and finally having a shakedown cruise and getting back into the lifestyle of doing this pretty much every day. So yeah, it's been a long time. When we were in Key West, Jordan taught me how to sail at the Key West Sailing Club, and we were working so hard and working in the sun that whenever we had a day off, I was pretty hesitant to go out and sail, just because I would be exhausted and I wanted to just enjoy myself and stay off the water. So we didn't get that much sailing in when we were in Key West, and we figured once we started cruising, then I would get all the lessons I'd needed. And so then when we were in Cuba, and partly when we came to Mexico, I was getting a lot of practice, but ever since then, it's been about, I don't know, at least 8 months since I've been sailing again, so I need to kind of refresh everything. And I'm still pretty intimidated about sailing. I'm not the best sailor, and I rely heavily on Jordan. Recently, we did a live stream with Lynn Party, and she's just such a badass sailor that it really inspired me to kind of like get my, turn my learning brain back on. You know, I figure if I can learn how to sew from scratch and refit a boat, I could probably figure out how to sail. But I just haven't really had the gumption before, because sailing always seemed like a chore. But I'm actually just pretty excited to get out there and practice. Yeah, wish us luck. hopefully no major catastrophes today.
Well, we're literally motoring on over to the race, and the engine starts overheating. So I'm pretty sure that there's something clogged in here in the engine intake. Definitely not as much flow as I'd like. What's our direction?
Right now we're like in between south and west.
South and west? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Yeah, so the current's taking us that way.
I'm gonna hop in and try to use my little lobster tickler to jab through the sea cock. A little bit of stuff came out, but not that much. So we're continuing to problem shoot.
Okay, so the impeller's not too hot. which makes me wonder if there's like a coolant leak.
Captain's meeting is at 10, but I'm sure they accounted for people being late.
All right, so I just checked the raw water impeller, and the impeller is like in good shape and nothing's in there. Desiree just cleared out a little bit of stuff from the intake seacock, but not much. So before we start it up again, I've got a feeling that if you take a look, Desiree, this is the impeller. This is the raw water intake hose, and then it goes into this pipe here, and that pipe goes up, forward, around, and into the heat exchange. Well, I recently cleaned the heat exchange, and it was good, but right where that pipe meets the heat exchange, there was some buildup of, like, a lot of buildup, actually, of, like, minerals or salt or something. Well, I think that there's another part of this pipe that I haven't, like, visually checked. I think there might be more buildup there, because this is the exact same problem that we had in Ascension, and we've been having overheating problems for a long time now, and you know, there's never like an obvious problem. So I've got a feeling there's a blockage in there, and I'm gonna check it out.
And how would you clean it, with a router? Or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna disassemble this pipe and take it off. It's not that hard, and then simply like look through it with like a flashlight and see what it looks like. All right. It sure doesn't look like there's anything in it. All right, so we're gonna reassemble this. It doesn't seem like there was much blockage in it. Put it back on, and then start it back up, and there's a chance that Desiree's clearing out the seacock from below did the trick. So we'll start her up and see what happens.
All right, moment of truth. We're going to try to start this puppy. All right, Jordan just checked the transmission fluid and the coolant, even added a little bit more. Everything looks good, so we started her up again, and just gonna see what happens.
Well, I just don't know. I mean, I checked everything, checked the impeller, we routed out the intake, pretty much the whole raw water line, and Desiree hopped in, and the only thing I can think that might have been is there was something in the actual like seacock itself, and so Desiree got in there and started, you know, getting at it with our lobster stick, and you said something came out, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of stuff.
And it doesn't take much to clog, you know, a 3/4 inch hose or whatever that is. So hopefully that's what it was. Yeah, we'll find out. Gosh, stressful. You sure you want to stay?
Yeah, we had some engine problems on the way, so I'm just gonna clean up and everything.
Yeah, it was pretty chaotic. All right, I'll come along.
Film, bud.
Thanks, guys. I'm Jordan.
We're gonna call you Scout anyway.
Nice to meet
Okay,
you.
that works for me.
What was your name, sir?
Atticus. No, Tim. Tim. Miguel.
Miguel.
I'm Gregory Peck.
Greg, yeah, you look like Gregory Peck. How you doing, man?
I'm so frazzled right now. We didn't have the engine alarm go off again between turning on the engine and arriving at the anchorage for the beginning of the race. And right now, I'm going to just kind of get settled, put some new batteries in the GoPro, refill our water bottles, and then clean this disaster zone. It's crazy what can happen in like a 10-minute like crisis. And then of course our V-berth, we put all the stuff that was in our cockpits into the V-berth. So that's what 10 minutes with engine problems can do to your little boat.
So we're gonna have a starting line from here, from that flag.
Yeah.
And we'll put a committee boat out there, and you guys are gonna start, which is gonna be unusual, kind of on a broad reach downwind.
Okay.
But we gotta go that way. Go to the mark, leave it to port, so you're gonna go around between the beach, come back, go around the committee boat, leave that to port.
Okay.
Go back down one more time, come back, and then finish.
Okay, so this is our new crew. Can you introduce yourselves real quick?
Hi, I'm Vivian.
Vivian?
I'm putting my sunglasses on
All right.
so they recognize me.
And what was your name again?
Chrissy.
Chrissy. Okay, Chrissy and Vivian, and they're expert sailors.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So basically what we're gonna do, and we gotta get going here, so I'm gonna make this brief, is the starting point is that flag right there on the dock. There's like an orange flag over there. So we're gonna head upwind, putts around. They've got several different messages they're gonna have with the horn.
Cool.
One long is 5 minutes. 3 long is 3 minutes. 2 long is 2 minutes. 1 long is 1 minute again. And then 3 short is 30 seconds. And then the goal is, you know, at 0, we cross that line. I think that might have started it. More to starboard.
More to starboard. There. Hey, we're pretty good with the flag right there.
Okay, ease the mizzen.
Easing the mizzen.
Okay, straight.
Going straight.
Yeah.
This is such a beautiful place to be the first time you sail.
Oh yeah, this is great.
Oh my God.
Oh, we haven't had a sail this good in a long time.
So the boat was called what when you bought it?
It was called Seawolf when we bought it.
So did you really have to get a virgin to pee on it to change the name?
We actually didn't.
Oh.
It's kind of hard to find a virgin in Key West.
What's the depth?
5-0.
Okay, now ease it out.
Oh, look at that. We're headed back on our last leg. And there's a couple boats still headed to turn. How cool is that? These two guys are in the race?
Uh-huh.
Sorry, suckers! Oh, jeez, Viv. I am videoing this, and I think the cat microphone works, even if you don't pet it.
All right, gin and tonic for everyone. Cheers, guys.
All right. Cheers.
Can I get a picture? So, Bud, you're standing at the finish line. How do you feel?
I'm very surprised that we won. I'll say that. You know, being the smallest boat in the race, the biggest contributing factor for speed on a boat is generally the waterline length, and I just didn't think in a million years that we would be faster than these other boats. But I guess I've underestimated like just how much of a sailboat Atticus is. I think we were helped a lot by the wind speed. I think if it was a windy day, we would have gotten just killed, because those boats' top speed is way better than our top speed, right? But we're able to pull more out of the wind because we've got the appropriate sails and the appropriate rig, you know, for actually getting moving when there's not a whole lot of wind out. So.
And we were just talking about how Atticus is so small, right?
The compromise that we make for all of that like small space on the inside and like kind of inconvenient storage, that compromise is made up for by the sailability. Yeah, like today's we had like 10 knots of wind and we were doing 3 knots, sailing happily, able to maneuver, tack easily, no problem, you know. So that was fun. That was really fun for me.
It's so easy to look at Atticus and realize like all the flaws, but it was really nice to actually realize like she's a pretty nimble little boat, and then having crew aboard, like I was super nervous about having forgotten everything I learned, but it was cool because we had crew aboard that haven't sailed in a long time or ever. So personally, it was like also a nice kind of like confidence boost Not too much. I'm not gonna be like, you know, crazy over my head with confidence, but enough to make me feel secure in, you know, our next trip and everything. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, I feel like my love for Atticus was here, and like now it's here. And that's kind of nice, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just really proud of her.
Yeah.
Come here.
Award just goes to first place Mono Hull. The name of the boat is Atticus and Crew. Atticus and Crew.
Oh my gosh!
Alright, we want shots for everyone!
Yeah! Shots for everyone!
Shots for everyone!
Okay, here it is. This is the crew award ceremony.
Da, 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 da.
First place for the crew.
Congratulations!
Well, we're heading back to the anchorage. Sun is just about setting, and I am super pooped.
Heading back, home sweet home. Heading back to the shoot-to-shoot. Do you feel victorious?
I feel sleepy.
Yeah.
I feel good though.
Yeah.
Proud of Atticus.
Yeah.
She did good.
She sure did. Yeah, that was fun. It's crazy. Like, it was really cool to see Atticus just dance around those other boats, you know?
Yeah, it's weird because I'm used to feeling so inadequate, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of secretly.
Yeah. And then once it comes to a sailing competition, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. We've actually got something going on here.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
It was fun.
So you feel good? Feel ready to cruise?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's go to Belize, buddy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go to Belize. Like, I've had a lot of anxiety over our engine since we started cruising because it fails so often for one reason or another, you know? But that stuff can happen at any time, particularly overheating. Like, you know, that one time we sucked up a tiny yellowtail snapper. That can happen anytime. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. I thought about getting a strainer on the outside, but external strainers have their own problems, so I won't even get into that. And yesterday, I feel like really helped to alleviate that fear. We're on our way to the race, and the engine overheats. And I'm just like, mentally, emotionally, like, devastated. I'm just like, God, like, this engine, like, we can't, you know, we can't do anything right. We've been sitting here for a year. Now we're finally gonna go somewhere, and we're prepping to go to Belize, and then the engine dies. It's just like, this is insane, and we can't ever go anywhere. But then after that, we went and sailed in the race, and we were so nimble, and we were tacking circles around these other boats. So we were able to, like, have very good control over Atticus's speed, direction, position. We were able to maneuver in, like, tight little areas with, like, reef around us, all under sail, and then anchor under sail. Like, all that stuff made me remember, like, man, we really don't need an engine on this boat, you know? What I realized is that I need to stop being so stressed out about the engine. If the engine dies and we're on our way to Aventuras, well, we'll have to sail to Cozumel and anchor there, you know? Like, there's always gonna be an anchorage somewhere that we can get to and that we can sail into. The engine is our auxiliary propulsion, not our primary. And so what we're gonna do is sail like you don't have an engine all the time until you really actually need it. So that way, you're not, because it's like better for the engine or not because you can save money on fuel, but because you will then be perfectly prepared to handle an engine failure in a like high pressure situation, you know, because you've gotten really good at sailing your boat. Anyway, I'm stoked about this. Yeah, and I'm proud of Atticus, and yeah, for the first time in a while, like I'm not kind of bummed that we bought a 30-foot, you know, a 30-foot small, really nimble boat, and I'm actually like proud of that fact, you know, and feel good about it.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Oh.
Next! 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 That's great. Little gin and tonic.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's my fault.
What'd you say?
One drink and it's like
I know, you're like,
I did that. I'm sorry.
God, what did you put, a triple shot in there?
I don't.